Welcome to Tag Back, the show where every week we take a look at a blaster from the past to see what it could offer us today in the present. And this time we're taking a look at something huge, one of the first big Nerf blasters, physically and metaphorically, that can handle an insane amount of spring punishment. And I'm not even kidding when I say this thing can hit harder than pretty much any other blaster you could possibly make. And that's the Longshot.
That was fun. Well, since Walcom's gone, I might as well take over. This is Tag Back, where we take a blaster from the past and see what it has to offer us today in the present. Oh, 1 second. Hang on, sorry, I forgot about my American viewers. Alright, that's much better. So today we're going to be looking at the Longstrike CS-6. The first thing that strikes you about the Longstrike is exactly, well, how long it is. It's longer than the Longshot, as demonstrated here on the floor, with the stock extended, I might add. It's that much longer, and it remained the longest blaster that Nerf had ever made until the Centurion came along, but even then it didn't beat the Longstrike by much. Same margin, that much. So it's still one of the longest blasters getting around. As far as looks go, it does look pretty good. Now, there was also a Sonic series that looks pretty good, but the whiteout is just amazing. The whiteout Longstrike remains one of the best looking blasters ever, which is really, really disappointing, because something that looks that amazing you would want to shoot quite well, and unfortunately it just doesn't. As big as this plunger is, it is reverse plunger, which means it just doesn't perform as well as it looks. Now, to aid in performance, you can take the barrel off. It looks a little bit silly, but that is going to help it shoot a little bit further, but not too much. And it does kind of look a whole lot better with that on there anyway. Now, the Longstrike comes with a stock. It holds two 6-dart clips in there quite nicely. It is the CS-6, it did come with 6-dart clips, and that's all the stock was made to hold, unfortunately. You can't use this stock in any other blaster except for the Longstrike without serious modifications. And once you put it in there, it's not coming out unless you take the blaster apart, which is really unfortunate, because these do look good on other blasters, but a lot of work has had to go into that. It is bolt action, and it does make you feel like a boss between every single shot. Unfortunately, as soon as you pull the trigger, you can just hear the lack of power. Now, that being said, there are a lot of modifications that you can do to this. You can put retaliator internals into these things. It does fit with a little modification. However, you do need to sacrifice a retaliator for that. There are also some drop-in direct plunger kits available, but they tend to be a little bit pricey, but not as pricey as a retaliator. And the spring, even though it is reverse plunger, the spring is fairly strong as far as stock springs go, and you can use it on other blasters. I'm never getting tired of that. Now, one thing the barrel has going for it is that it is a large diameter. In fact, with the exception of the Centurion, I don't think a larger diameter barrel has actually come out. Now, that has one thing going for it, and that is the fact that that large barrel reduces barrel drag. That means the darts are going to be flying out of there just that little bit faster. And as a result, many a rough cut have been added underneath as a detachable master key. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes to kit out their blaster, then you're not going to be left wanting for tack rails. With the barrel attached, there's one underneath and one on top, and then there's another two back here. So chances are there are enough tack rails on here to put your select choice of accessories on. Unfortunately, as good as this blaster looks, it's just not practical in a Nerf war or any real situation. even with the barrel off, it just simply does not perform, and it has that reverse plunger to thank for it. This blaster came out in 2010 and the Longshot came out in 2006. 4 years separate the Longshot and the Longstrike, and this was like a de-evolution. The Longshot was direct plunger. This is reverse, so Hasbro went backwards, and that's one of the things that I don't like about it. And as good as bolt action feels, in a Nerf war situation, it's just not practical. Fortunately though, because modifying your blasters is a thing, there are quite a few things that people have done to the Longstrike that can turn it into something awesome. You can put retaliator internals in there with a bit of work, but nothing that's too advanced for the average modder. You do have to sacrifice a retaliator, but you still get proper performance, and that means you can brass it and put a 7 or 5 kilogram spring in there as well. And if you want to spend a little extra money, you can buy drop-in direct plunger kits as well. I've also seen people put XBZ and B-bump tanks in these as well, with a pump sticking out the back, and well, it's air powered, so of course it's going to perform really, really well. Another thing that this blaster has going for it is how comfy it is. It feels so good. For someone of my body size, that stock is the perfect length. It does get a little uncomfortable for me up in here, but I can forego that. The swept back handle, it just feels really nice. It just does. It just feels so good. It's a very comfortable blaster, and I really love where they've put the clip release. I love how it's just right up there, so you can just prime it back, pull it out, reload. Awesome. So if you can pick one of these up, would I recommend buying it? Well, unless you plan on modifying it, the answer is no. If you're a whiteout collector and you come across a whiteout one, same set for Sonic, then you might want to go ahead and pick one up if you're a completionist or a collector. But if you're going to buy one and not modify it, those might be the only reasons you would ever want to buy one, because, well, to be honest, this is the only stock Longstrike I have, and it's not going to stay that way forever. The only reason you would want to buy one of these is to modify the crap out of it. Wait 1 second. I'm never going to get tired of that. It's just really upsetting that a blaster that looks the way this one does simply can't perform as good as it looks. That's just really upsetting to me. I mean, we can make it perform as good as it looks, but it does require a fair bit of work. It may require some cash outlay or to sacrifice a retaliator, but you can bring this thing up to par with today's standards and even exceed that as well if you're willing to put in the time. I'm Rob, this is the Longstrike CS-6, don't buy it unless you plan on modifying it, and now it's back to your regular host, Walcom.
Well, I guess I should be happy that I don't have to do this video anymore, so go ahead and give good thanks to Rob from SBNC, check out his channel, and make sure you let him know who sent you. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this. That's it!